What's up, you guys? So I'm here at Team Symmetry. I'm here to do my YCS Seattle deck profile. I ended up going X3. When I posted my status, I literally was only in round 6. I went 3-3, and I lost my third match to a really bad ruling for Atlanteans, and it was still being disputed throughout the rest of the event, and eventually I did turn out I was correct in my ruling. However, I still question it, so I to this day, I kind of don't know. I'm going to keep checking with judges to see what the real ruling is. But aside from that, I did run Rabbit. I ran Rabbit over Dark World, Chaos Dragons, a lot of other decks, because I felt that since Atlanteans were the hype, I felt that Rabbit having Dolka and having Lagia could actually, being able to Lagia Undyne was key, because that card was so amazing that you really needed to get past it. So I'm just going to get in the deck right now. It was really generic. I ended up winning my last 3 rounds. I thought it would have been enough to maybe push me into day 2, but my tiebreakers had dropped, so I pushed down a little bit too far. So anyways, I'll just get into it. It's really standard. I do different plays with the deck. So anyways, let's just get into it. I got the dynamic duo, of course. I missed 3, but 2 works just fine. You have to run 2. Yeah, this is Curly and Larry. The 2 tour guides, the Sangan and the Night Assailant. Really standard. I don't like Bust. I don't like any other card except Night Assailant, because I opened a lot of matches with Night Assailant, and it helped me get advantage early, because I popped in my round 9. I played Girgia, and I popped face down armor with it. The best card of the deck all weekend was Jurek Guaiba. I haven't ran this card since regionals, and the reason why I wasn't running it was that during then, the format wasn't stable enough for you to run Jurek Guaiba. But since Atlanteans came out, I noticed a lot of them are not that strong. Going Undyne turn 1 and then setting an Abyss Sphere is cool, but I could at least summon Guaiba. I could attack, and by doing that, it would get over the Undyne. You could still Abyss Sphere, but if you didn't have the optimal play, I could bring out another Guaiba and then overlay and get a lot of my plays off. I won the majority of my games because of this card. I'll explain later how that happened. I do run the 6 red guys, 3 Sabers, 3 Caboozles. You have to run them. Caboozle is amazing because it has 1500 defense. People forget that, and I can't tell you how many people ran into a set Caboozle and were like, wait, what? Yeah. It's pretty funny. I was surprised. And the last 2 cards are just 2 card deep. As you guys see, I'm not running Thunder King. I'm not running Reaper. I cut those cards last minute because Reaper, unfortunately, is dying to Pappy, because Pappy is godlike. And Reaper, against Girgia Karakuri, I noticed they'll use the strategist to switch your Spirit Reaper and then proceed to OTK you from there. So I figured I don't want to take those chances. I wanted to include other cards in the main board. So that's my monsters. It's 17 monsters, extremely generic. People thought the card Ds were weird, and they were like, you'll just draw vanillas, but if you know how to play vanillas, the deck works just fine. So yeah, so 17 monsters. 17 monsters. So yeah, it works pretty well. Onto the spells. I do main D-Fissure. I've been arguing with a lot of people. They were like, you should have ran Macro Rabbit, and they said Macro Rabbit at least would stop them from, it stopped the Atlanteans from when they detach for the XYZs, but my goal was to open Fissure Rabbit most of the games, because that way I could actually, if I opened Fissure Rabbit, I most likely was going to win the game, because I'd have a Lagia on board with some back row, and it was a very solid opening. And what I didn't like about Macro is I had to wait a turn, and they can MST this, sure, but they would chain MST to my activation of Macro, and their chains would still resolve so that they would get their plays off. So that was one conflicting issue I had, and I also wanted to play Pot of Avarice, and sometimes when I ran Macro, I noticed Monster Reborn to be really dead. The cards I wanted were removed, and I had no way of getting them back, so that's why I went with 2 D-Fissure. Only 2 Typhoon. You only need 2 Typhoon. I ran 2 Lance. This card was really good because I actually used it a lot when I set Cabazol's, because they'd summon a monster, they'd attack, I'd go damage step, and they're like, okay, I'd Lance, they'd attack into Cabazol's, they get confused, they'd end their turn, I'd summon another Cabazol's and make my Lagia and just, go off. This card won me a lot of games too, because I lanced the hell out of Lagia, as much as I could. I summoned more Lagia than Dolka all weekend. I barely summoned Dolka except against Chaos Dragons. Staples. This card's still amazing. I don't know why people are cutting book. It works really well with YCS. It works really well with a lot of things, so it was really good. And I do run the Avarice because I run the D-Fissure, so my XYZ materials go to grave. So it worked really well. My round 9 I won because I Avariced. I 2-0'd him, but I won because I Avariced in main phase 2. It worked really well. Traps, 2 bottomless, 2D prison. They're still really good. I didn't see any Inzectors at all, so I was like, why not? The 2 next best trap cards, first is Mirror Force. This card put in so much work because people still don't think people run Mirror Force, and like I don't understand that. Like I didn't like it at first, and then I realized with Mirror Force and D-Fissure, you turn it into what I call like an invisible plus, where if you get the monster to not go to grave and you get it to be removed, that's a plus in itself, because unless they're running Levier or a way to bring it back, it's not coming back. So that's what I figured would just make the difference, and it really did. In my round 9 against Girgias, he had the 2600 and I don't know, some other monster, and he had a Zen Mains in defense, but his 2 monsters were in attack mode. He attacks into a set Kabazol again, and I Mirror Force, and then I summon another Kabazol, make Pappy, and then use Monster Reborn and poke for enough damage to win. Before I get to his next trap card, a shout out to my friend Kenton from San Francisco. He made me run these in the main deck last minute. He kept messaging me and telling me you have to run these, because since you're not running Veilers and hand traps, you need to run something to stop windups and tour guides. So he made me main deck 2 Fiendish Chain, and it really won me a lot of games. Like it won me games I should not have won. In my round 1, I got like I thought I lost round 1 because he opened. I played Dark World and he opened double drag down, followed by deck dev. He killed my rabbit and Torguide. I opened Godlike, and for the next 3 turns, I drew nothing but spells, and I sat behind Fiendish Chain. I didn't activate it, and I finally drew Jurek Guaiba, attacked him for 17. During his turn, he goes Dark Hole. I lance Guaiba because it's the only monster I have. He summons Brow, attacks, because Guaiba went down to 900. I go Fiendish Chain. He reads Fiendish Chain. He's like, oh, okay. I draw for my turn. I attack with Guaiba. Guaiba goes through. I make a Lagia, set 2, and I win from there. So that card really won a lot of games, so shout out to Kenson for that. And then I do run the Solemn Brigade because it's Dino Rabbit, you have to run them. The 1 Starlight Road, which resolved a lot actually. This card really resolved a lot, and I felt safe whenever I said it. I felt I was going to win the match mostly with it. I won a whole game just because I had Stardust, so they couldn't Dark Hole me. And then just 1 Torrential. I really didn't activate Torrential that much because I didn't open that many monsters most of the time, because you guys can see I run very little monsters. So Torrential was there for when they would overextend. It was there to punish them, but mostly if I wanted to punish them, I'd use Mirror Force. So that's it. It's 41 cards. It's really generic, you guys. Like, there's nothing special in here. I think the best card in the deck, though, is definitely Jurek Guaiba. Like, that card is like, as my teammate Robert says, it's the homie for life. That card just wins too many games. But yeah, so that's the main deck. It's really simple. And when people are running, why don't I main Veiler and Max C and all that stuff? I feel that Max C is only good against windups and decks that that try to OTK you by spamming and special summoning. I didn't care for that. I was like, I got D-Fissure and I got back row. I can punish them with Mirror Force, Torrential, Fiendish Chain, everything. And I don't like Veiler for the fact that if you Veiler turn 1 and you're going second, you start your hand with 5 cards versus 6, and that's just like it's a -1. Regardless if you Veiler to Tour Guide, it kind of just sucks because them having that 1 card advantage over you can be the difference between you winning and losing. So that's why I didn't use Veiler at all this weekend. I didn't need it either. So onto my side deck, 2 Max C for windups. Decks that special summon a lot. I never got this card off all weekend. I didn't need it. When I played Windup, he was running the Fissure build. He opened with Fissure and a back row, and I opened Typhoon and Rabbit, and I knew I won the game because like I was like, oh, okay, I don't have to use hand traps, so it was good. 2 Thunder King, which I put in last minute. This card was ridiculous. Like, I didn't expect it to be as good as everyone said it was, because I was like, I don't know, I'm probably never going to draw it. My round 8, I played against Prophecy, and I had no idea what they do. There were a bunch of books in a tower and stuff, and I was like, okay, game 1 I won because of Rabbit Tour Guide. Game 2, I literally summoned Thunder King and poked with it for 4 turns, lanced it in the damage step to win the game. Their monster in the damage step into Thunder King for game. So Thunder King single-handedly won the game. Like, people didn't even know I was running Rabbit. They thought it was Thunder King beatdown. So Thunder King was amazing. 2 Kaiku. This was for Dark World and Agents and Chaos Dragons. This card's broken because they can't remove for Gates. They can't remove for Pulsar and Dark Flare. And if I could just get 1 attack in, I knew I was winning because I was removing their lights and their darks. I usually aimed on the lights because because if they milled Dark Arm, it was like, I have it. Like, the Darks are only good for Dark Arm. That's it for the monsters. 2 system down for Geargias and gadgets and machines. Never used it. I set it as a bluff against Geargias round 9, and it got MST'd, so that was fine. 2 Leeching the Light for agents, Chaos Dragons, light decks like Watts and whatnot. I only used this once, and it was good. It got over like some big monster, but I don't think I'd side it. I think I'd only side 1. Like 2 just didn't really help me at all. Unlike you, he double leeching for game. It was broken. Other spells, 1 more fissure for agents, for Dark World, dragons, everything. Like, this card was just amazing all weekend. The 3rd MST, which I really didn't sight in that much. 1 Soul Taker. This card never went off. Like, I was like, well, I said it so many times, it just never went off. It took an MST for me, so I was like, alright, that works. I'd probably still side it though, because dragons are starting to come back, so I think it's a good card against dragons. And it was for heroes too. And just 2 Dust Tornado. I don't like Decree, I need my traps, so that's it. That's a standard side deck. Things I would change, I'd probably cut a Leeching and possibly a Dust Tornado or a System Down for Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, because I actually wasn't ready for the Inzector match, and there were a lot of Inzectors. I just got lucky not playing against it. Extra deck real quick, 2 Lagia, 2 Dulka, standard, 1 Utopia, no Ray because I don't use Mind Control. And I usually never go into Utopia. 1 Mace Stroke, I went into that a lot actually. 1 Abyss Dweller, really good against Dark World and Merman and Atlanteans. It's broke. 1 Gagaga Cowboy, which I used once to get over Mulling Glacier, or whatever its name is. The Megalo, whatever it is, the 2400. Best card ever invented in the whole history of the game. Pappy won me my round 2 against, won me game 2 against Dark World. I 2-0'd it because I Pappy'd his Spirit Reaper. So this card was broke, of course. For the 3s, Zenmains, Leviathan, Leviair, Golem, Tempo. Very standard. And where is my, oh yeah, and my Stardust, obviously. So yeah. So people are wondering how my rounds went. Real quick, round 1 played Dark World. I 2-0'd it. 1 game 1 with Guaiba, 1 game 2 with Kaiku and it was Kaiku and what else was it? I don't even remember. It was like Kaiku, Guaiba, like Rabbit. Like eventually this stuff came out. Game 2, round 2. This really like pissed me off. Like I never get pissed. I got sacked round 2. I was playing against Chaos Dragons. I got him game 1. Game 2, he just opened better. In game 3, I had a Dulka with 1 material. He has 2 cards in hand. He goes Sangan attacking a Dulka. He takes 13. He has 3 Darks engraved. Last card in hand is Dark Arm. And I was like, wow, you know. So I lost that one. Round 3, I played against Wind-Ups and I won. He misplayed. He decreased Shark, and he ran out of targets to special summon, so it was a weird match. So I won that one. I lost round 4 to Sabers. I don't even remember what happened. Like we were in a top deck war, and he got the Reborn, and he just had everything. So I lost that one. Round 5, I won against Chaos Dragons 2-0. There's nothing to really talk about. Jurek Guaiba just does what Jurek Guaiba does. It was literally Guaiba and Rabbit the whole game that just won it. And then my last loss was that Atlantean ruling that just totally sucked. It had to do with Megalo and its summoning and not being able to Solemn Warning and this other crazy shit. So the guy was really cool who I played, but I just felt bad that I lost to something like that because I was so unfamiliar with Atlanteans that I didn't know. So in reality, I might have actually lost that match for the fact that maybe I was wrong, but every judge afterwards told me I was right. So whatever. That was my last loss, and I technically just pretty much should have just stopped there. But I was like, I might as well play it out. And then I went on to win my last 2, I think. My last 2 were against Prophecy. I 2-0'd it. Thunder King beat down all day. And my last one was Geargia, and that was like all my matches. So it was pretty interesting, you guys. I think Rabbit's still really solid. There are Rabbits on the top right now. Bobby Breaks running Rabbit. A lot of the players running Rabbit, and I think Rabbit's is really standard. There are some things I'd change. My build's very generic, you guys. You can't really innovate Rabbit that much unless you're making Micro Rabbit or the Machine Rabbit. But I think the deck is still solid. It can stand on its own in the format. And I might try Macro, but I just like the speed of Fissure. That's just my personal opinion. So let me know what you guys think. You know, comment below. If I ran into you at the event, you know, thank you. I literally dried out a whole Sharpie and had to get a second one because everyone was asking me to sign stuff, so it was pretty cool. That was like my highlight, was signing stuff for little kids and just a lot of fans and stuff. So that, you know, that's what it's really all about. I came to have a good time, and I tried to squeeze in a day too. I just didn't make it, but I mean, it's cool. All my work for YouTube begins tomorrow, so it'll definitely be a fun experience. And shout out to my boys, Vaughn and Stefan. Where's Stefan?
Somewhere.
Stefan is the Filipino Slim.
Where are we? Here we go.
They both made it day 2. Stefan's running Atlanteans. Stefan's running Agents. Really good decks.
We have
the whole
a boxer card match going on here.
He's doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Yeah. This is the
British Tommy in the corner over here.
Hi, Tommy.
That guy, you're so dead.
Tommy's amazing. Yeah. But you know, good luck to everyone else in the tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you have questions, you know, feel free to PM me on YouTube or my Facebook, and just let me know what you guys think of the deck. So that's all I got to say, you guys. Oh, and shout out to my boy Matt on the camera. Oh yeah. He made it to day 2 as well, so he squeezed in there, but like 4 spots, hella good.
No.
Well, you got 124. 124, yeah.
Hey, we'll talk about that in Birdie guy real quick.
Oh, let's not talk about that.
Do that later.
We'll do that in his profile. All right, you guys, that's all I got to say. So thumbs up the video, and thank you for watching.
What happened?
Exactly 16. Oh,
Not
shit.
bad.